I'm Debbie Fischetti.
And I'm Megan Rothschild.
Welcome to Skin Talk, brought to you by the Melanoma Education Foundation, a show focused on melanoma awareness. Melanoma is not just skin cancer. Know the truth. Get the facts. We'll provide you with the answers.
On today's show, we want to talk, yes, talk about how to talk about melanoma detection and prevention, and how to make it infectious, how you can spread valuable knowledge and help save lives.
So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. And might I say, you look fabulous.
So do you.
Thank you.
Love it. Love the outfits.
Yes.
And where did we get the outfits? We have to mention.
Sir do. At the Eastfield Mall.
Which is a fantastic new store.
Yes, it is located in Springfield, Massachusetts.
But it should be in New York City.
Yes, exactly. And you can go online and check out their website and get further. You could have what we're having no matter where you live.
Yeah, we want to thank them for offering to dress us. Lisa,
yes,
lovely
so
lady.
Anybody who is in the area, please stop by, ask for Lisa, tell them that the girls from Skin Talk sent you, and
she'll hook you up with some awesome fashion.
Yes. Well, we have another great show in store for today.
Yes. Diane's coming.
Yes. Now, we got to tell a little story about Diane, because as you know, we stress saying viewers email us, contact us, send us your story. If you would like to be a guest on the show, let us know at our website.
Yep.
And she did, and we got to talking, and she is just sweetheart of a woman.
She's wonderful.
Very compassionate, very dedicated,
and a wonderful photographer.
Yes. Yes, she wears many hats and does all of them extremely well.
Yes.
So, yes, she did a photo shoot of us, which you can...
Photos are going to be posted on skintalk.org. They're actually already on Facebook. So we're definitely, you have to check them out because she did a really amazing job. And I'm excited to have her on the show.
Yes, and we also are proud to say that we are also now on Twitter.
Yes.
So tweet us, please.
Yes. Search for Skin Talk.
Yes. So she will be coming on shortly. So don't go anywhere. You definitely want to stay tuned for that.
And now she's not here to talk about photography, though.
No. Amazingly enough, she is an esthetician, and she again has this huge passion on getting the word out there and being infectious about teaching others and letting them teach others and them teach others about the importance of what's on your skin, melanoma awareness, early detection, and all that. And she is our first Skin Talk viewer guest, so we're very excited about that.
And you know what that reminds me of, actually, when you were saying, talk to others, teach others, and they go on to teach. I remember one of the first episodes that we had of Skin Talk, we talked about building an army of people who could go out and talk. You talk to 5 people, they each talk to 5 people, and that's really, it's guerrilla marketing and grassroots efforts to get people talking about this, and that's the whole theme of the show today. So,
it's amazing how much one person could affect a group, and how that one person could affect a group. So
and right in line with that, we were talking before, kind of preparing for the show. Every time we do a show, we take a couple minutes to go through the copy points and everything, and with the theme being get people talking about melanoma, we thought, why not have a contest with the viewers to come up with a tagline?
Yeah, I love that idea.
There's so many good taglines out there. The Nike Just Do It, and all those types of ads out there. And that's really the key to marketing, is getting something that people can remember. It's quick, it's easy, and it's infectious, like you said. So
we want to get you guys involved. We need your help. And it's going to be a fun contest. We'll have more details at the end and, of course, on our website. But think about a catchy phrase. What is going to get you
to pay attention
and talk to people about melanoma? Get them talking about melanoma, but not just talking about it, but knowing what it is.
Right. And
knowing the early signs of, detection. This is what I get all the time. Oh, I've had it for years.
Right.
And I go to the dermatologist. Oh, I had it for years. But what they didn't have for years is the change.
Raised, or it's darker, or it's itching.
Right, exactly, that type of thing. So definitely think of a phrase, something that you think would be catchy, that in the end result, it's talking about melanoma awareness and early detection.
And the winner will not only get a mug, they get to come on the show.
Yes.
And the phrase will be on our website at skintalk.org.
And it'll be on all our advertisements.
Yes.
That we do, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, we have our flyers, our mailers, all that, and you'll get credit for it. So please.
It's a good portfolio builder for all you people out there who want to build your resumes. Yes.
So we'll be waiting on those emails. So next show, we're going to read and have a contest of who has the best catchphrase.
Maybe we'll put maybe we'll pick the top 3 and have people vote or something. We'll give more details, but maybe we could do that.
In the works right now, but it's a contest. We need a phrase. Send us your information. Send us an email, and we'll have to work on the details. On
all the details.
And maybe we'll up the prize a little bit. So maybe there'll be a surprise of a surprise. So
maybe they get a makeover.
Yes, that would be a good idea. Whether it's male or female, you'll get an outfit, a wardrobe, and be on a show. What great is that?
I love it.
We're going to be getting thousands of emails now.
Sounds amazing.
Well, by getting more people involved and on that line of things, I even actually found stuff online that there are a lot of different contests out there, which is nice to see more and more people take an effort and make this infectious thing happening.
Right.
But what I learned in this process is that if you want to get more involved in the work that we're doing, in the educational aspect of it, you could do that simply by going to your schools. What they said here is to contact your state representative, contact your local schools, colleges, tell others, help spread the message. Co-workers, elected officials, educating people about melanoma is the first step to finding pathways to a cure.
Well, and not to mention the fact that, for 3, if not 4 years in a row, we've been trying to get tanning legislation passed here to make it illegal for anyone under the age of 18 to use tanning salons, and that gets held up at the House every single time. So by calling your state rep or your local rep or whatever the case may be, more voices is really what we need.
Exactly.
And it's happening in other states too, so it's not like it's some unheard of thing. It's happening in other states, so we could make it happen here en masse.
Exactly, and that's the whole thing though too. It starts by our voice,
right?
And our voice is getting out to our viewers at home, and then you make a step, and these steps go into what now is a great thing by the tanning bed law, and you have to be 18-year-olds. That was a work in progress, and it took 4 years, but it finally happened.
Well, no, it's still it's getting more legs, but we still need to pass it.
But there's still more of a stand to it, where you see, I've personally seen more and more tanning salons,
going towards spray tans or things like that. I think they're feeling the pressure a little bit.
Exactly. So it definitely makes an effect. So this one young child says, stand with us and share your voice. And that's basically what it is. It's just, that's all it is. It's not a lot of work involved. It's not a lot of pounding down doors. If you're that type of a person and wants to do that, that's great. Right. But other people aren't. But all we need is your voice. That's all it is. And we all talk. Lauren knows I do. So
this one talks
all the time. Talk. Yeah, I think I know a little bit about that. But so share us with your voice. Share your voice.
Share your voice with us.
Share your voice with us.
So with that being said, let's not postpone. Let's not wait any longer. And stay tuned. We've got Diane coming up next.
Welcome back. Well, thank you so much. Diane Neal is with us today, and we're so excited to talk to you. Diane is one of our first Skin Talk viewers who contacted us via email, of which I would like to read because it's very sweet. And she says, hello, have recently seen your program on Channel 3 and love that you have created this to further educate and inform people about melanoma. I recently completed my esthetician's training at Bioacademy in Northampton. If I could be of any assistance to your efforts, I would like to do that. I am all about educating people on how best they can care for their skin. I also have a family member that was diagnosed with melanoma and would love to talk to you about it. All good things, Diane. So thank you so much. See, people, you reach out to us, you could be on the show. Exactly. And embarrass you by reading your email.
Well, tell us a little bit about the work that you do and how you got involved in kind of the skincare business.
Yes, I've actually been involved in makeup and skincare for 19 years, and it was through that I decided to learn more, become an esthetician. And what an esthetician does, there's actually a number of things, but an esthetician may work in a salon or a spa, also dermatologist's office and plastic surgeons. And in the medical aspect of it, it's usually prepping a client before procedure and then post-care for after procedure and along those lines. And in a salon or a spa, it's facials, waxing, microdermabrasion,
all the stuff that
peels.
keeps us looking
yes,
beautiful.
Exactly. You know, yes, acne-prone skin,
Sure.
anti-aging products, all of that.
Right.
And
Deep
then
cleansing, things
yes,
like that.
yes, and I also do in-home spa parties, so that I bring the spa party to people in their homes.
Love
yes.
that.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
great.
And what-
And that's fun too.
What is
yeah.
it that you do, just in brief, if you could, on those in-home parties?
They usually experience the cleansing, a mask, hand or foot treatment,
So
eye
you'll
product.
get like a good facial
Oh,
cleanse, like
yes,
you'll actually, not
yes.
just a little test kind of
No,
thing, but you'll get like a
no,
full-blown.
you experience the cleanse
How
and
wonderful
the
that.
mask.
Ladies.
Yeah.
Yes, that's wonderful. A lot
Yeah.
of the information on the site.
Yeah.
That's great. Now,
Yeah.
how did you become so passionate about melanoma awareness? Like, where did you make that? Because, you know, I thank you for explaining what an esthetician does, because
Yeah.
I'm always kind of confused about esthetician and beautician and all
Yeah.
that. So how did you become so passionate about melanoma awareness?
A family member had discovered melanoma on her skin,
Wow.
and fortunately it was caught in time. And
Now, did she find it?
yes, she suspected something, and then it was determined what it was when she saw
So
the
she
dermatologist.
detected something, she went to the
Yes.
dermatologist.
Yes.
That's
Hopefully
excellent.
they
Yes.
removed it and it went from there. kind of
And then I have another very good friend who has been treated for melanoma as well, and recently discovered something on her skin and is in the process now of getting that detected.
It really just
So-
affects
Yeah.
so many
It
people.
does. It
But
really
again,
does.
it's catching it, it's doing something about it.
Early
Yes.
detection.
Right.
Yes.
Whether people feel right about, like we talked, about dermatologists or not, it's just getting there and getting help and
Right.
going
Yes.
with your gut and saying, I need to do something about this.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
So, now, did you bring us some nice fruit?
Well, actually,
I'm a little hungry.
this is an idea of what the skin looks like.
Okay.
Underneath our top layer here, we have layers of skin cells.
Right.
And when the skin cells are starting out on the bottom, they're representative of like a grape. It's very plump, it's supple, it's new, it's fresh. As the cells rise to the surface, they die off.
Right.
Which is like the raisin. Well, when they reach the top of the surface, they end up like a cornflake, and it's
like
dead,
off.
dead skin cells.
That's a very good analogy.
So when
know,
you
this is pretty
use
cool.
when you use good products, it's going to help retain your skin to be more like the plump grape.
Okay.
and keep it that way.
Yes, yes.
You look like a plump grape today.
Well, thank you.
And when you have it as the cornflake, the dead skin cells on the surface of your skin, what you want to do is exfoliate.
Sure.
And it's very important that depending on the type of skin that you have, that you use appropriate products for your skin type. So that if you have oily skin, you use a cleanser and moisturizer that are suited for oily skin.
Right.
Likewise for dry skin, acne-prone skin. And if you're older and you want anti-aging products,
Sure.
they're appropriate for your
So
skin.
there is something actually to that. You know, they're not
Yes.
just kind of throwing
No.
that out there. There really is a different chemical
Yes,
balance.
There is.
Okay.
There is, most definitely.
Okay.
And when it comes into the exfoliation, you want to make sure that you're using an exfoliant that is for your face, not your body.
Okay, because it's more gentle?
Yes.
Okay.
And seriously, body exfoliants can actually do harm to your skin. They can do tears
Because
on your
people
skin.
think that, oh, it's exfoliating, so
Yeah,
it's
so
good
it
for my
just-
body.
just
But
all
it is,
over.
the face is always so much more
Yes,
sensitive.
That's a yes.
great
Now,
tip.
The other
Yeah.
thing is, too, is that what would you recommend in exfoliant? Because some people are like, I'm allergic to this, I'm allergic to that. So is there like a basic sort of ingredient to avoid or basic ingredient to make sure it has when they're searching out an exfoliant?
Well, you want to see that whatever products that you're using, that they've been dermatology
Because some things
tested.
can be a little
okay.
abrasive. So,
Yes,
and
right.
again, with everybody's allergies and
Yeah,
sensitivities.
you don't want to use the
Dermatology-
pumice stone that you
Right.
use on your foot.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
You want
So
them to be
dermatology
dermatology tested. In terms of actual ingredients, it would really determine if what your allergies
looking
or
for.
Offensive
But sometimes
ingredients
there's
could be.
certain people say, that there's a certain, that has alcohol in it, or it has this in it, that kind of thing. So there's nothing really in exfoliant
No.
that people should say, don't get it if it has this particular thing in it.
No,
Okay.
but what you want to do too with any of your products, I think the most important product you have is your cleanser, because that's the start of everything
Yeah,
in,
that's
sure.
in prepping your skin. And then also get your products from the same manufacturer. Don't go to the drugstore and get an exfoliant here, a cleanser from this
Yeah,
one,
that's
a
true.
toner
That's
from
a
this
good
one,
point, too.
moisturizer from that, because they haven't been
They're going
made
to counteract with
together.
each
to
other.
work together.
Correct.
You
That's a
get
good
them
point.
from the same manufacturer. They're made to work together, and that's when
Wow.
you'll have the best results.
Okay. Now, right along with talking about the skin and you know, taking care of it properly, the ABCDEs of melanoma.
Yes.
I'd love to review those with the
Yes,
viewers,
it's
just so
very
you can
important.
maybe give your input as an esthetician.
We'd love to do it on every show, but then that
Right.
would be a little too much.
A little excessive.
But enough to know, yeah, we definitely
Right.
need a reminder.
So as, you know, just to kind of tell people what the ABCDEs are, they're the 5 warning signs that you want to keep an eye out for when you have a spot or a freckle or a mole. You want to know about the ABCDEs. The first A, asymmetrical. So if you were going to fold the mole in half, would it line up perfectly?
Right.
And if it wouldn't, generally something you would
That's
want to
a
have
concern.
looked at.
So when you fold it, it's supposed to be
It's supposed to be
the same.
like a mirror image of itself.
Okay.
B, border. If it has irregular or scalloped or notched edges, that's something you want to keep an eye out. C, color, which I think is really important. It can be black, it can be dark brown, it can even be red or blue. Have you ever seen anything like that? A red or blue
Yes.
spot on the skin?
I haven't seen blue, but I have seen red.
But
Okay.
it's also in coloration too, that the coloration
Even.
that it's even is
Sure.
good. When it's not, if it's like starting off like a shading, if it's starting off dark and it gets lighter, if it's lighter and
Right.
it gets darker, any kind of you know, something obviously that's not symmetrical, that's
Right.
not the same, is a concern.
Sure, certainly. And then there's D, diameter. Anything that's larger than a pencil eraser is something to have checked out. And then E, evolving. This is the one that I think is really, that to me stands out
And
because...
it's fairly new that a lot of people don't realize
Right.
that there is an E
And it's
to the
fairly new add-on.
ABCDs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because, you know, my melanoma didn't have A, B, or D. It just had C, and it had evolution. It's changing. So any spot on your skin that is changing, it's becoming darker, it's growing, or it's a new spot, if a new spot shows up, you want to have a dermatologist look
And
at it.
another thing is, too, that a lot of people feel, well, do I have to have one of the ABCDEs? Do I have to have two
Even
of
if
the
you have
ABCDEs?
wanna get it
Do I have
checked.
to have all
No.
for it to be melanoma? And the point is, yes, if you have one, if you have two, if you have all 5, you know, you definitely
Wanna get it
checked.
And the thing, too, is that melanoma showing up on your skin isn't necessarily where the sun has hit you.
Right.
It could show up on your scalp. It could show up on your underarms where
Certainly.
you didn't expose yourself to sun.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
can show up even in areas that aren't exposed.
Right. So there's that to consider, too. And what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, you know, going on another subject, because we're talking about, you know, so much about caring for your skin, that we had talked earlier, and you have another passion, and that is getting into an area where people are on people's skins,
Yes.
like estheticians,
Yes.
and that is getting into the salons.
The salons,
Yes.
yes.
You know, why don't we just, if we could, touch on
Yes,
that a little bit.
and with the Melanoma Education Foundation, and I recently became involved with doing training to go into salons, and I actually am doing a training this week with a local salon to educate the salon owner.
amazing.
And
That's
yeah,
amazing.
and,
Huge.
and if you, as a viewer, would like to have your salon, one that you go to, one that you own, you would like to have us come in and do a presentation for your employees, please contact the
absolutely.
website here. Yes.
And with that, we have Crystal from Cream Coffee, which is a beautiful salon here in town, and she is a salon professional. So if you would please stay with
There we
us,
go.
and we'll be right back. We'd like to bring on Crystal so that we could talk more about this very important subject. Welcome back. And we would like to welcome Crystal from Quem Coiffeur, a wonderful salon in Wilbraham, and she's a salon professional that's going to help us with the discussion that we've left with Diane and the interest of educating salons. Now, being, you know, I always look at it this way. You guys, esthetician, you know, salon professional, are on in people's face, in people's hair, on people's skin.
More often than the doctor or the
once a week,
dermatologist.
twice a week. You see the same clients more often in a month than a dermatologist or a doctor sees their patient in an entire year. So the importance of educating salons is huge,
because of that fact.
Right.
And that's, you know, that's always been my personal passion. We know that other organizations have, you know, dabbled in that, and there's more and more voices out there that are also seeing the importance of it. So an individual starting a, you know, something, you know, an organization starting something, I mean, I think it's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things, if I'm working on a client and I see something, I'm going to ask
Yeah, I
the
was
client.
going to ask you, like, what would you
I
say if
ask
you
the
see something
client-
concerning? Because you don't want to freak them out.
Right.
Right.
And you, I'm not a doctor, so I can't say for sure, oh, yeah, that's a melanoma.
Yeah, how
but
do you
yeah,
handle
what
that?
would you say?
I inquire as to how long they've had that.
Okay.
Has it been there for a while? Oh, well, I've had it for, you know, up 10 years, or no, that just showed up like a couple of months ago.
I didn't
And
know
just
it was
because
there.
it shows up doesn't mean that there's anything wrong, because I have
Right.
stuff that shows up like, wow, oh my
Sure.
God.
And
Is that
then
an age
there's-
spot, or is that something I need to be
Right,
concerned about?
exactly. And then there's, after asking that, then if it's been there for years, have they noticed a change in the color?
Right.
Or has the dimension of it changed? And then I also suggest that because of the back, like if I'm doing a back exfoliation and a back facial, and I see something on the back, I encourage them to have a buddy system.
Oh, yes.
And have them and their best friend to check each other's back.
Right.
And to periodically do that so that they can see on their friend if there's a difference in anything on the back.
What about you? Have you ever had to have that tough conversation with a client, or?
I have. And
Really?
a lot of the times you have to really build a good
Rapport.
relationship with your clients because they can't see behind their ears on the
And
back.
your scalp.
Yes,
Yeah,
their scalp.
because you do the weaves and the extensions and all
Yeah.
that, so you're really into their scalp.
Absolutely.
So how did that, you know?
Well, you have to let them know very patiently and kind of bring it to them in a very subtle way, because you don't want to be like, oh my goodness, what is this on your
Right,
head?
right.
As you're, you know, putting their,
Yes. So you basically just have to be very calm with them, and then ask them over time, like just like she said, ask them if they've had this for a long period of time, if they've noticed like other people have told them about something that they've seen on them,
Sure.
like if their hair is up, or
Yeah.
even if they're a long-time client of yours.
Right.
If you do something at first and you realize that it's changed over time, then you want to let them know about that,
because
because
you'll see the change more than they will.
Right.
Now, would you? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Would you have you encouraged them, obviously, to go see a professional and get it
Yes.
taken care of? Have they come back? Did they take your word? Or
Yes.
were they like, oh, what are you talking about? No, it's fine. Or
they have taken my word, because that's something that you can't take
Right.
lightly.
Certainly.
No.
Do you feel that more salons, you know, being in this world and communicating with people, maybe going to conferences or going to different trainings, do you feel like more salons are taking this proactive approach, or is it still something that's kind of on the back burner? Are more people recognizing that this is something they need to be on the lookout for?
or part of salon training when you go into
Right.
getting your license
Getting certified
to be a
and all that?
hairstylist?
It is part of salon training.
Oh,
It's
excellent.
actually a whole section in the books
Really?
that tell you how to characterize different types of moles and areas, and
that's
how to
great.
watch
My
out
next
for
question
them.
was like, wow, how did you know about how to detect melanoma? Because there's a lot of salons that I've gone to, that we've gone to, and they have no idea.
Sure. Well, and there's a conflict too, because sometimes the salon has a tanning booth right in there,
very
so
true. That's true.
that's really a tough kind of situation.
Now, have you, like, when was it that you did your schooling? Like, how long ago?
I finished schooling in 2010, so I attended from
So that's nice to know
2009.
that it's recent.
Sure. That's great.
That is very awesome. And, like, do they give a test on it? Like, I'm just curious to know, like, how in
Yes.
depth do they? Because there's some things like, all right, no, we could skip that page.
Right.
Or is it really more of like a mandatory section of, like, a good part of
Yes,
your learning?
it's a large section of the book, and I attended for a year because I was going both day and night. And while attending, I believe I took the test about 3 times,
Wow.
because we go over
So
the
you
book
know it.
multiple times.
Did it go
yes.
over the ABCDEs like we were just talking about?
Yes.
Oh, that's excellent. Okay.
Oh,
Wow.
that's awesome.
That's good to hear.
That is really, really good to hear. But now, do you still feel the need, I still feel the need, and I know the answer to this, to have people go, because we constantly need to be reminded one.
Refreshed.
And refreshed. But there's people, like, that we know that did not have that in their schooling. Now, I don't know, like, if it's just your school,
Different academies,
or if it's for the fact that you recently, and now it's mandatory in the schools that they have that, but 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I don't think they did.
Right.
Because it wasn't as prevalent as now. Again, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, being that I just finished, I'm not exactly sure with
Yeah.
Right.
how everything was handled 10 years ago, but I know that it is said that you should keep your book
Sure.
and study over it regularly. So I figured most
That's
likely there
nice.
would be a section in our textbooks, especially 10 years back, where it would talk about certain things like that, because it's something people have been tanning for many, many years, and it's not that all of a sudden
Right.
people are having problems
And we're
on
starting
their
to,
skin.
yeah, but we're starting, I feel like it's getting worse with the tanning salon. You know, I feel like tanning salons are kind of like the cigarette of our generation, where we didn't really understand the risks, and now we're kind of getting to a point where we're seeing that rate increase, and it's increasing among the same people who are using the tanning salons. So,
And I think that it's really important to get the education out to the parents of their
Certainly.
teenage,
Oh, yeah,
specifically
absolutely.
teenage
which is a
daughters.
huge part of what MEF does.
Right, I was just going to say that,
Right.
because with the MEF educational program, the Skin Talk program, we have it facilitated in the high schools and the middle schools, and part of this process and this learning packet that the teachers teach in the classroom, which we are now in 49 states and in over 1,000 schools.
Awesome.
So thank you for that. But part of it is that they are mandatory to take home a packet to their parents, and the parents have to sign, or should sign, that they received this packet, went over it with their child, and bring it back to school.
That's great.
Whether that happens, you know what kids do, they throw it in their backpack and whatever. But there are some teachers that have taken it to an extra level
Make it mandatory.
and make it mandatory that not only do they have to look over the information, but the parent has to take their child to a dermatologist. And if they do take their child to a dermatologist and come back with a note from the dermatologist that they went, that the teacher will give them an A.
Right.
So there are some teachers who do go through that process. But I also think, it's just amazing that your passion, for getting into the salons, it's also nice to hear that the salons are taking more of a charge. Again, I'm not in the field, so maybe they have been doing this, but from our knowledge, a lot of salons don't know.
Right.
They don't know what to look for melanoma. And a lot of times, like let's say you have a client, let's say I'm your client and I just come in for the first time, we don't have that rapport, built up yet.
Right.
But you got to be able, you may never see me again. So you got to be able to somehow tactfully say, oh, so nice to meet you, but
By the way.
you have this growing melanoma. This thing on your head. So it's nice to know that, on one spectrum we are getting the education and, from the schools that people are graduating, but on the same token that we have ones like yourself who want to go out there and continually promote, and we constantly need to be in people's face about it.
Well, the thing, because melanoma is preventable.
Right.
This is it's a cancer that is
You
preventable.
see it. You actually, it's the only,
so
the only
preventable.
cancer you get to see right there on your
Right.
skin.
And then sunscreen, and the importance of sunscreen, and I recommend a 30 SPF
Yes.
of a 30.
And how often would you apply it or tell people to apply it?
With it, well, if I'm running around in my car doing my errands, I'm not going to worry about reapplying it. But if I'm at the beach and I'm going to go, I'm going
Outside.
into the water, I'm working in the yard, and by 2 hours, you should be reapplying.
what's
Right, and that's
recommended.
whether you're in your car running around doing errands or not. Some people have sunroofs.
Right.
Some people's arms
Yes.
are out the window.
Sure.
Yes.
You get in and out of the car. You don't realize, okay, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes back.
Right.
Going to the nail salon.
Yes.
We talked about that one
UV
point in our
rays
show.
and that, yep.
Exactly.
And the type of sunscreen to have is something that is a broad spectrum
Yes.
sunscreen, because it's going to help protect you against both the UVA and the UVB rays.
And not to be fanatical, but when you wear your sunglasses, make sure you have sunglasses that
Yes.
say UV protection.
Eye damage
Put-
is huge.
Right.
Yes.
Put the sunblock on your skin. Go to salons that you feel are
Keeping an eye.
keeping up with the technology and up with the times, and are educated not just about how to look beautiful, but your inner health.
Yes.
And that's just so wonderful to have people like you out there. And I thank you so much for coming on the show
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
thank you for
Thank
your
you.
time
Thank
and
you for having
your
me.
knowledge. This has been wonderful. So hopefully that has been a great impact to education to our viewers. But you're not going to want to go anywhere, because we have Meghan's tip of the week and some great stuff for you still. So stay tuned.
Welcome back. Diane and Crystal were amazing.
They were great.
It's so refreshing and compelling to see people who are so dedicated. They enjoy what they do,
Right.
but more so because they really feel that they're helping people.
Sure.
Not helping them feel good, not helping them look good, but really their inner health.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
they really had some great helpful tips. Which,
Good insider info.
Yeah, I mean, I learned
the
so
industry.
much. I'm sure you guys learned so much.
And I think it was good to do the refresher on the ABCDEs because
Definitely,
that's
yeah.
always something that, you know, it's the key to early detection,
Right.
is knowing what to look for. So hopefully everybody at home got a little refresher, doing your skin checks on a monthly basis, and you know exactly what to look for.
Yeah, and definitely keep on referring to our website because the ABCD's description that you saw posted on the screen will also be on
available.
our site. So you could use that as a refresher. I mean, you can go online, you know,
You can just Google it, and
you
there's
know,
a
it'll
million
be
ways
easy.
you can get it.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. We try to keep it as simple as possible, but it is something to always keep in our mind. You know,
Certainly.
I always like to use the Lyme's disease tick thing. You know, it gives you a
Right.
bullet, gives it certain signs, so it's really not that complicated. But definitely be more in tune to your skin, what's on your skin, and other people's skin. So that's
Yeah.
why we like to do this. So yeah, it was really, really great.
Let's get to emails.
Yes.
Wanna
Well,
go first?
this. You want to look at that?
Yeah.
This came. Let me see. A 919 area code. Alan Estep.
Estep.
Sorry.
Sorry, Alan.
I just wanted to thank both Debbie and Megan for all of you've done for melanoma awareness. My brother passed away from melanoma 1 year ago today.
Oh, wow.
And after some healing time, I started back.
Black is the new
Black
pink.
is the new pink.
They
right.
follow me on Facebook.
Campaign, yep.
That's so exciting.
Nothing fancy, just some blogs and Facebook links. But I've encountered some amazing people that had similar personal campaigns. The success that you two have had driven us and thrills us beyond words. You've helped us all realize that our self-healing words are equally important and are being heard. Anyhow, I ran into the Skin Talk website just today, and I'm glad. Thanks
Aw.
again. Thank you, Alan.
Thanks
This
for
is
the follow
awesome.
on Facebook, too.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
This is great. But
so
this one was
is-
interesting.
Yes. Okay. So hi, I just watched the last 10 minutes of your show. I guess my comment or question is, what is being done to inform family physicians on how to detect and diagnose melanoma?
Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation,
Capital,
exclamation.
capital letters.
Capitalized.
So this comes up all the time in the line of work. I know that especially I do, and
Right.
also what you
That's
do.
right, that would be good for you.
This is literally, I get this question all the time, and I get this whole. I've been speaking on the topic for 8 years, and one of the biggest things I hear is my melanoma went undiagnosed. My melanoma, my physician saw it, they told me it was fine. My physician, as a melanoma survivor, told me that my mole was fine. That's me saying that. So that's one of the
same
things.
thing with Steve.
Right.
And he went to 2 dermatologists.
Derms or physicians?
One was a physician and 2 were dermatologists. And they
Wow.
all said that it was fine.
So here's what I say to this.
And it was stage 3 when it wasn't fine.
Oh my gosh. This is what I say to this question. What is being done in terms of educating physicians? So there's various amounts of nonprofits.
Doesn't that sound
strange?
Yeah.
What are we doing to educate physicians on melanoma? Well, first and foremost, there's a number of nonprofits out there, including MEF, that go out and they try to get better training and they try to make physicians more aware of this. But here's the thing, we're not there yet. So what I always tell people is you need to see a dermatologist because they're a skin specialist, first of all. Second of all, if you don't like something, but your dermatologist or your doctor is telling you to leave it, you demand to have it removed. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, doesn't hurt. You know, little pinch. You're already there in the office.
Right.
Don't say, oh, he has to rush out to another. No, I'm not leaving until it's removed. It takes nothing to remove. Don't say, oh, come back in 3 months. Well, let's take a picture. This is what frustrates me. Let's take a picture. Let's measure it and come back in 3 months. Well, you know what? I might not be able to make it back in 3 months because
Right.
I have no idea what this is.
I have no idea what stage it's at either.
And you know me. I'm a huge advocate of people being an advocate for themselves. You know what's on your skin. You know your gut feeling. You're already in the office, and that's the thing. Bottom line, absolutely.
Right.
Just take it off.
Well-
We can't question it. You don't know. I don't know. So just take it off.
Right.
And the thing is, like again, this is the question, and we mentioned it earlier in the show. Oh, it's been there for years.
Right.
Yeah, but the change hasn't.
But if it's changing, you need
and
to
you
get it
may
taken
not
off.
notice the change.
Right.
So like I know it's like, oh, did it always look like that?
Well, yeah,
Sometimes
because you see it every day,
Yeah,
so it's hard
so sometimes
for...
you question it. I'll question it and be like, well, even as knowledgeable as we are, we'll look at something sometimes and be like, Was it always that dark?
Right, and I think that,
should it be
in the
this?
whole theme of what we're talking about how to talk about melanoma, the other thing that we can be doing as just a society and a group to educate physicians is to go in and say, melanoma rates, they're increasing faster than any other cancer. I want this removed. And we can educate our physicians about this and say to them, I'm going to go see a dermatologist, or did you know that melanoma is the second most common form of cancer for young people ages 16 through 29? We can arm ourselves with the education and go in, and when we have our daily checkups, we need to talk to our physicians and be open and honest about it.
And by all means, in spite of this, we're not being negative on
No.
dermatologists. It's very, very important to go because they do have the means of taking it off our body. We don't.
I always say see a dermatologist.
Right. There
for
are
your skin.
nurses there. There are doctors there. Quite frankly, I have a wonderful dermatologist. Dr. Stephen Franks is awesome. But prior to that, I've gotten more knowledge and more insistent from the nurses. So by all means, it's a plus by just walking into the door, but you do have to be your own advocate. You go in there saying, question it, whatever, and just say in the end, I want it off.
Right.
And in the end, make sure that they get it biopsied.
Right.
That's the key.
And if they won't do it, go to somebody else.
Right. Go with your
Online.
gut feeling. You have to be your own best advocate. That's what it is.
Say.
You
Tip of the week.
Yeah. So what do we have today?
So, okay, we're talking about how to talk about melanoma. So this is also one of the things, one of the biggest questions I get on a regular basis is, how do I talk to my mom because she goes tanning? How do I talk to my sister because she goes tanning? How do I talk to my brother because he refuses to put on sunscreen? So I always say, when I'm out there speaking, I have a couple tips that I like to give people. First and foremost is to make it about your concern instead of about their bad behavior.
So let's role play a little bit. So pretend I'm the person that goes tanning, and I'm like, brown as anything.
You're
and
loving
like,
it.
Oh, hi, Megan, you're going to go tanning. I'll
So
see you
I would
later.
start by saying, Debbie,
Yes.
I'm really concerned about
About
some of the
what?
behaviors that you've had.
now?
I learned today. I was on the Melanoma Education's website, and I learned that melanoma rates are increasing faster
I
than
don't
any
have
other
melanoma.
cancer. You know what? You probably don't, but because of the tanning behaviors, you may want to get checked out. I have a list of a really good dermatologist in the area, and you can make an appointment. And I think it would just be easy. It would give you peace of mind, and you don't even have to. You can go in there, get checked out, and then you don't have to worry about it.
But because you brought it to me, and because I care about you so much, and that you care so much to do this research
do.
for me, to bring it out to my attention, I'm
We'll
gonna
go. See, that's
How
easy.
easy was that?
Now in a real world situation, but that's my first tip is to make it about how you care.
Yeah.
There's an emotional
Yeah.
connection. The second tip, which I did there as well, is arm yourself with all of the facts that you need.
You got to go prepared.
So if it's a person who uses tanning beds, you can go in and say, did you know tanning beds, using them just once a month, increases your risk of melanoma by 75%? A lot of people don't know that. So go in with the facts. And third, offer an alternative. So go in and say, you know what, I'm worried, here are the facts, so I'm hosting a spray tan party.
That's a good
and I'd
point.
like you to come, and I'd like you to see that a spray tan is a really great alternative to harmful UV rays. And those are really the three kind of top tips that I tell people. That's how you can approach someone who maybe has a behavior that you're worried about.
Right. And the point is, we're all stuck in our own world. A lot of times people feel
Going through the motions.
right that they're, as nice as you put it, they're putting a defense, a
Right.
mechanism up where in the back of their mind they probably are feeling guilty.
Sure.
In the back of their mind they probably do know that it's not the greatest thing that they're doing, and they're, it's pretty much a selfish thing because they want to
Right.
look a certain way or feel a certain way. But in the end, the person that's approaching to them about a health concern should take it like, wow,
They care.
look at this person who cares about me.
And that might not happen right away. You may have to do this
Right.
two
Just
or
don't
three
do it
times.
once and give it up, because initially, like I sort of role played,
It might be a defense.
yeah, like I sort of like, oh, I'm not this and I'm not that and I don't have melanoma. Don't give up on that person.
Right.
Because the lives have been saved, and we can give you, if we had more time, more stories of similar situations like that. And by the third or fourth or fifth conversation, there was somebody that, we do know, that was saved by it because that loved one or that friend didn't give up. So
Yeah.
that's the whole thing. More on that contest, and give us a catchy phrase.
Yeah. So many continue to lose their lives to melanoma, but with education and gaining true facts about what melanoma is and the signs to look for, less and less lives will be lost.
In loving memory of those who recently lost their lives, we want to pay tribute to their lives. Through these lives, here's hope hope that their voices are heard, more people to get educated, know your body, empower yourself, and take action. If you would like an overview of today's show, share your story, gain tips, have questions, find out about when the next Skin Talk will be airing, visit us at www.skintalk.org.
Or you can always email us at info@skintalk.org. Thanks for watching.